Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today for our Alumni webinar series. My name is Manisha Singh. I'm the Deputy Program Director and Lecturer in Public Health at York St. John University's London campus. I teach across postgraduate public health and global healthcare management program and I also work very closely with students throughout their academic and professional development journey in different capacities. It is a real pleasure to host today's session as part of the YSJU Alumni Series, Alumni Journeys, Creativity, Careers, and Community. So these sessions are a wonderful opportunity for current students, graduates, and the wider YSJ community to hear directly from our alumni about their career paths, experiences, and the lessons they have learned along the way. So before we begin, just a quick housekeeping points. We will be hosting a Q&A session at the end of the talk. Some questions have already been prepared, but if you'd like to ask something during the session, please feel free to email alumni@yorksanjon.ac.uk. Let me repeat that again, alumni@yorksj.ac.uk, and the team will pass your questions on to us. You may also notice that automatic captions are appearing, in fact, during the webinar, and it's just there to appear or to improve our accessibility. Please note that these are auto-generated, so they may not always translate perfectly. Thank you all once again for being here, and I'm really delighted to introduce our speaker today, Yvonne Osei. Yvonne is a class of 2025 graduate of the MSc Global Healthcare Management Program at York St. John University's London campus. Prior to joining our university, she obtained a Bachelor's of Science degree in physiotherapy from the University of Ghana. And with over a decade of experience working with children with varying disabilities, she has built an impressive and impactful career in pediatric physiotherapy. She currently works as a senior pediatric physiotherapist, where she supports children and their families through specialized therapeutic care. And today she will be sharing her journey from being a student at YSA to building her professional career, reflecting on her experiences, skills, and lessons that have shaped her path. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand over to Yvonne, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about her journey. Yvonne, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Manisha. That was such a beautiful introduction. I'm feeling very, very honored and flattered. I prepared something little to share, so I'm going to start sharing my screen, if that's okay. Right. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining the webinar today. I feel really, really honored to be part of this beautiful initiative by York St. John University. So, like the title say, I'm just going to share a bit about my career journey and then my journey with YSJ. So my link to YSJ. So I like Manisha has mentioned, I pursued the Master of Science in Global Healthcare Management at the London campus. And in order to do this, I was awarded a scholarship from Ghana to pursue this master's. And it wasn't an easy thing. I mean, it's been something that I had pursued for over 7 years. And I finally got it at the last, in the seventh year when I had just decided to give up on the whole thing. But then it's been such a great opportunity and pleasure to be able to do and complete this program at YSJ, and I couldn't have done any better decision. YSJ has shaped my academic and professional perspective. I'm a Ghanaian trained pediatric physiotherapist. I've got a very vast experience across schools, hospitals, working in communities, and whatever, so many other places. I have a very deep passion for inclusion, advocacy. Now, where it all began, it all began in University of Ghana, the premier university in Ghana, where I had my physiotherapy training. It was during this training that I actually identified my passion for child development and disability and inclusion. And it also strengthened my belief in healthcare being a social and cultural and a spiritual aspect of life. And my journey, and Manisha has already mentioned that I currently have over 10 years of experience in pediatric physiotherapy, which is quite interesting because I'm quite young. Experience, and I have experience, like I said, in working across so many sectors, like working in a school, working in a community, working in hospitals, works in every other aspect of physiotherapy. Now, my focus is mainly on supporting children with very complex medical needs and physical needs. So these are a few shots of myself during my working over the years in my career, working in hospitals with children and supporting children in various settings. Now, nearly half of this 10-year career was spent doing unpaid work and mainly voluntary services because where I come from, like many other African countries or third world countries, we've always had the issue of unemployment right after school. And so it's really difficult to just find good employment as soon as you complete your university education. So what I decided to do for myself was to ensure that I still stay up to date and still have my experience and also maintain my practice by offering my services for free. And through that, it was the purpose of all of this was to help me continue learning. It also helped me to build my service and also build my practical. These are some photos of me using very um, simple items to make special equipment for the children because again, where I come from, having special equipment for these children is not easily accessible because they're really expensive and most of the families cannot afford these. So I used to make special equipment using cardboards, newspapers, and this is one of them that's completed. It's a standing frame. We used to make special seats for the children to help them. All of these services were done for free help the community. Now, the reason why I believe volunteering really, really matters and also contributed massively to my journey and also helped me to get to where I am is because it helped me develop my hands-on clinical skills. If I were just sitting home and just, waiting to find employment or a gainful employment, it would probably have taken me longer to get these jobs. And also, I would not have this level of rich experience and clinical know-how to really do the job I'm doing currently. It also helped me build my network and mentorship. I met very good professionals who managed to help me guide me through my journey, my career journey, who have also advised. One person who actually recommended York St. John University to me was someone I met during one of my volunteering services or jobs, and it helped me also gain real world understanding of the community needs, because usually when you sit in class and you listen to the lectures, everything is so theoretical and you really do not have very deep understanding of the needs of the community, and knowing that will advise on how much your role is important in the lives of these people that you serve. It also helped open doors for professional opportunities for me because through these volunteering services, I met very good people or professionals in certain areas who introduce you to one thing and then also recommend and actually guide your whole professional journey, which was really, really helpful. These are also some of a few other shots of myself during my volunteering days where I go into the community and provide my services for free to these children and their families. Some of these families could not afford to have therapy, and so this made such a huge impact. So as I was giving back to the society, I was also building my skill set, my technical know-how, also translating all the theory I had learned during my degree into actual community practice. As part of my journey along the line, I decided to go into advocacy work in Ghana. And I was advocating a lot for children with disabilities because where I come from again, some people still have some huge stigma against persons with disability in general, and especially with children with disabilities. So it was one of the things that I actually decided to show, had passion for, and actually did. I did a lot of public education through national television, the radio stations, going around to communities, to schools, to workplaces to create awareness, and also do a lot of education programs people on how to support children with disabilities. And these are a few shots of me during those times when I used to go on and do the advocacy program, as well as doing these projects that will create awareness for persons with disability. The photo on the right is really, really important to me because it was made for me by a child I used to see who had difficulty using her hands. So this she used Play-Doh to mold my name as a gift to me. And these are some of the things that make this whole journey very fulfilling and exciting for me. Now, along the line, I decided to expand my professional range into to gain more clinical practice, to do more coaching, and also go into policy and advocacy discussions, public speaking and media engagement. Now, if you look at all of these things, it helped nurture my interest in global healthcare management. And this is where the passion to go into to pursue further education in global healthcare management. And every now and then I got recognized and everything. So this is me in 20 receiving an award for the Youth Advocate of the Year for all the advocacy work I had done for the children with disabilities in Ghana. And this is one of my favorite photos of me in my last job where I was discharging a baby from physiotherapy and I had given her a certificate. So this has all molded into, has contributed to the person I have become now and contributed massively to my journey. This was my last year at my last job before I decided to make the transition to now, the reason I had decided to come into the UK was to move and expand my impact and also gain more experience and knowledge and also navigate new systems and expectations and also build my resilience from the years I have been working in Ghana. A friend told me about, like I said, I met someone during one of my voluntary services who actually recommended York St. John when I shared my interest in going into global healthcare. And that person had previously attended York St. John University and recommended it, and I have never regretted it. Now, the opportunity York St. John created for me using the placement was a very good opportunity for me to enter the UK workforce because everyone would attest that when you come from a different country or you come from abroad to work in the UK, most of the employers would like for you to have some level of experience working within the UK prior to handing you the role or offering you the job. So the placement team or the placement offer as part of the my program gave me a very good opportunity to enter into the workforce here in the UK. It turned the learning into a good opportunity for us. The placement component of the masters became a key bridge into the UK professional environment. It allowed me to gain practical UK clinical experience and understand the local systems and adapt to the professional expectations in the UK. And because I was coming from an accredited and from a university that had a very good reputation, it was actually quite easy for me to get placements. Now, my career today, thankfully, through that placement opportunity, I ended up getting a role as a senior pediatric physiotherapist at the Eden Academy Trust, which is a band six role. I know senior colleagues who have actually worked longer than I have, who are still working in band five roles, but I believe that my placement gave me a very good opportunity with the masters, the modules, all the knowledge we gained from YSG helped contribute greatly to help me really make a good impression to actually end up with this role, which is really, really good. So I continue in this role, I continue to support children with complex needs. I drive a multidisciplinary collaboration. I supervise assistants, I supervise students, I work with, sorry, I work with other professionals, both within the academy and externally within the NHS and the communities and surgeons. It's a really, very big role. And through this job, I'm slowly emerging into a medical legal practitioner. Now, thankfully, with all the experience that YSG has given me and the knowledge it also gave me, and also giving this opportunity to do the placements, my employers identified that I was a very, very good candidate for their middle leaders development program that they run annually and nominated me to be one of the candidates for that program, which is a very hot cake program. So if you know about it, it's such an honor to be to have this opportunity to do this thing. And it's all because YSJ has shaped my leadership identity. I used to struggle a lot being a leader. I knew what to do, but I just didn't know how to do what to do. And YSJ gave me that opportunity, that technical know-how. It opened up my eyes to be able to identify the type of leader I am and how to use my skills, my technical know-how, my experience to carry on and be a good leader, and also look at the world and my job from a global health perspective. The research and analytical skills of it is also top notch. It's very, very important because it's something that I continue to use on my job. It helped boost my confidence for advocacy and medical legal work, which I currently is part of what I do at my current job. The placements are not just part of a degree, they're a powerful gateway into professional systems experience and long-term career opportunities. I must say it's the maybe if not the hallmark of the program in my journey in YSJ for me, it's the placement opportunity. This is me currently. Like you can all see, I'm literally the only Black person on my team, which is exciting. And it's a really good experience and opportunity. It shows you how much work and how highly regarded I have now become at my current job. And it's all thanks to all of these experiences over the years, the training that YSG also offered me. Now, some of the lessons from my journey is that I have learned that unpaid seasons are investment seasons. So during those years, a good half of 5 years or 6 years where I spent doing unpaid services, all of these years I was laying very good foundation for myself because now at my age, I have over over 10 years of clinical experience doing what I do. And so I am very well equipped to carry on bigger roles and do big things. So I always believe that not to always sit idle and wait for opportunities to fall into your lap. You always have to chase after the opportunity yourself. And I also have learned that advocacy also opens really doors of good opportunities for yourself, for other people. As purpose evolves, the passion will still sustain and faith will carry long-term dreams. You have to constantly have faith in yourself and believe that you can meet your dreams and work hard to it by good service, which will build your credibility. Like I said, my journey and my affiliation with YSJ built my credibility even more for these employers to even consider my application when I wanted to do my placement over there. So it's really important. The experience can come before your recognition. So, like you've seen in my journey that I had to work in the background for so long until I actually got the recognition that I deserve. Now, what I'm building on next, as I'm hoping to expand the disability advocate across Africa, sorry, in the UK. Also, I'm hoping to begin a digital educational content. And I've currently, as one of my middle leader development projects, is one of the things I'm currently working on. So it's something that I'm doing in the pipeline. And this is all possible because of some of I think there's a module we did in YSG during the course, which actually targeted on digital health, which has also really, really, I use insights from that on my current job and also strengthen my medical legal expertise and also mentor young clinicians who are interested in following the same career path. Now, my message to the students and my fellow alumni is that your journey does not have to be linear. It will be so many corners, it will be zigzag, it will be so many turns, it will be topsy-turvy sometimes. But then at the end of the day, if you have a goal and you know where you're headed, you know that no matter how many detours you take, you still arrive at the same destination. So do not be disheartened if things don't go as planned or things don't go as you've imagined they would go. However, always keep doing your best and moving forward. And also, volunteer experiences can shape your career in such beautiful and positive ways. And not everything. No, I know it's really important to make money and earn a living because we all have bills to pay. But if you know exactly where you're headed and the opportunity you are hoping for is not coming, absolutely give it for free. Put yourself out there in the limelight. Give back to society, and society will give back to you in the end. And last but not least, I want to say that You have to stay committed to your purpose. Remember the reason why you started this journey, this program. Remember the reason why you're paying a lot of money to do this master's or to do this further education and invest in yourself, and always let that keep you going. Now, finally, I want to just share that service builds skills. So, with me, if I had not invested in, spend time offering my services and doing what I do, I would not have had so much. Um, I built my skill through all of these services, as I did not just sit idle and wait for the opportunities to just fall into my lap. And so by the time those good opportunities came, I was very well highly skilled to deliver, and it made it very easy to proceed and walk towards my dream. And advocacy builds influence as well. Education builds opportunity. So do not take advantage of the opportunity you have now to be at YSG. Such a huge opportunity to be at YSG currently. So do not take advantage of them. Do not look down on that. You capitalize on you being in YSG, that affiliation to YSG, and use that to catapult yourself into your next journey. And then faith over ignorance. Thank you so much.
Okay, now we will move into the Q&A section where I'll ask you some questions um, and that were prepared by our alumni team. And then if any of our students have any questions regarding your beautiful presentation, I'm sure they will send you some, they will send us some questions, and those questions will be sent to you, and we will communicate the answers given by you to our audience again. Okay?
Thank you.
Really found your volunteering experience very insightful, and the way you articulated its importance and its impact was, I think, something all the students should really, really appreciate
Yeah.
and relate with as well. And the fact that I saw you utilizing cardboards and whatnot, I really found that inspiring. So,
Thank
even my
you.
his first question is something around your volunteering journey and the community impact.
Yeah.
So I believe you shared some really powerful examples of your volunteering work in Ghana, including creating therapy equipment using something as simple materials like cardboard and
Yes.
working so closely with children and community. I'm sure that was very, very rewarding. But I
Yes.
wanted to understand, how did those grassroots experiences shaped your critical thinking and your understanding of what children with disabilities truly need?
Yeah, so like I said, in Ghana, we are not as fortunate to have, we don't have the luxury of equipment. These equipment these children need in order to help with their development and their recovery, their rehabilitation are not easily available. Some of them cost as much. I think the least you probably get is about £2,000 for equipment. However, we don't have that. So that volunteering phase, it helped me think outside the box, to always look for answers, to find answers to solutions, because we didn't have them readily available. So in theory, if you've learned during my training, for instance, I learned that if you want to help a child learn to walk, one of the equipment you could use is a parallel bars, where you have two bars and they hold it and walk, like what the ballerinas use to practice. But you realize you don't have that. We don't have the mecha or the fancy ones that you have to order on Amazon that cost you so many £100 and dollars. We didn't have that. So then you get to it starts to help you think outside the box. So what can I use in order to get that? Okay, so if I put two high blocks and put two strong sticks overall, I could get a parallel bars, and then we do that. And then it helps, it solves the problem. You're not using the fancy equipment or the fancy modalities. However, you're still getting the job done in a safe environment. And it's low cost. Family do not have to worry about paying extra money to get these equipment. And it's because it's something that you easily pick around the household, it's something they can actually continue doing. And so they are more motivated to continue giving these children these support at home and make sure the support carries on. So I believe that one of the biggest take homes I got from these community experiences was thinking outside the box and finding solutions. And that has translated massively in my job here, interestingly, because over here, the UK has the luxury of being able to afford these equipment and things. And so sometimes when something is afforded, it's like, okay, we can just order this. But then I'm like, oh no, actually, we've got that, we got this, we can do this, we can put this together and make it work. And it always works. And it saves the job, my workplace, it saves them a lot of money. So it's a very good thing that you learn, you pick up during these maybe in my career, like because it's a rehabilitative career, you stay with these children long term and you want to give them the best. The family, everyone is looking for up to you, and how the level of improvement or deterioration the child's condition is going to go depends solely on your inputs. So yes, it was one of the things I really, really, really appreciate from all my community work back in Ghana.
Yeah, and yeah, then that is truly inspiring. The initiative, thinking outside the box, I think, as someone who works so closely with health, should actually think about, and I really appreciate it. Perhaps you could use this as a case study, and many people, especially who come from lower middle income countries, whose reality is as same as you
Yeah.
mentioned, Ghana, could utilize some inspiration from that. So yeah, think about perhaps developing it as a case study and publishing it as well.
Be nice.
So, Yvonne, my next question, I think, is around academia now. So, something that you mentioned earlier, and I really found it very important, was that academia can only teach you so much, right? And real learning often will come from our field experiences.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully, gave some examples earlier as well. I was just wondering if we could expand on how your field experiences complemented what you learned uh, academically.
I mean, I think it'll probably be the other way around because you learn the theory and then you're expected to translate it into the field. So yeah, but my previous experience, um my journey at YSG, it was incredible because like I said, I did a lot of advocacy and public speaking, but then coming to YSG was a whole other level because on the program or during the course, you are given assignments where you have to work in groups, and then you stand in front of people and then deliver. And the job or the career is not solely on the knowledge you know, it's all these little soft skills and other additional things that you have to do. Because now at the job, you may be the best person in terms of not being very knowledgeable, but you may have very horrible people skills. You are tardy, you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to resolve conflicts, you don't know how to, you know, all of those things like public speaking, doing presentation, because it's part of my role as well that we do trainings, whole school trainings, whole academic trainings. It's such, sometimes you stand in front of about 300 people and deliver a training. And I believe so strongly that my experience YSG offered me this opportunity to better it because of course Ghana is home. It's my people. So it's easier to be in your safe zone. But once you come in and you have to work with other people from diverse backgrounds and the language barrier, understanding accents, and in order not to be offensive to other people, all of these soft skills, and I picked all of those up. It really, really helped transferring those skills into it because when it comes to the technical knowledge, the theory we learn is pretty easy to reapply. However, when you get on the field, you realize that it takes a lot more than that. And it's all these things. And YSG gave that opportunity. We had I think it was called employability sessions that we had an hour every time we were on campus, and they teach you these about CV writing, interview skills, all these soft skills and all, and it makes such a big difference. It really does.
Thank you, Yvonne. I'm sure our students will be taking notes on all these small details that you're sharing. Obviously, every small thing that we learn from CVs to conducting a teamwork or seminars, acting session, everything matters. And I really appreciate you highlighting those things. Um,
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your transition from Ghana to the UK, right? So you moved from Ghana to the UK. I mean, like in itself, it's quite a transition in professional culture and all that, right? So, what were some of the biggest adjustments you think you had to make when entering the UK healthcare system?
Um, it was. I think it's mainly going to be I think the language barrier. Not a language barrier, but I think it's more accents because in healthcare we have to understand each other. We have to understand jargons and also knowing how the healthcare system works. It works a bit differently back home than it does here. And so you need to absolutely understand like for instance, back home, if you're trained as a physiotherapist,
Mm,
you can literally practice across anywhere. You don't need specific specialization to do anything. You just have that generic training across board. However, when you come here, you are kind of limited into specifics. And so with my background, it was really helpful for me because I have that wide experience. I've worked across burns, I've worked across plastics, sports, MSK everywhere, including pedics. Even though pedics was my forte, I had experience across board. So it makes you stand out. However, you have to understand that the system is different. There are policies that limit how
mm,
much you can do,
yeah.
and there's a lot of limitations. And I also think that it's also maybe because there's a sewing culture, so everything is all awfully. You have to be absolutely careful about all of those. So the actual job is not, it wasn't very shocking,
Mm.
except the fact that I discovered that we probably do more back home than we do here. There's a lot more hands-on services than it's done here because over here there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of administrative things that you have to do. You are literally, my current role involves a lot of report writing and meetings and proofreading and a lot of legalities and stuff. And back home, I mean, I don't say it in a disrespectful way, but we are quite calm when it comes to these things. So it's not such a huge thing. So it was one of the things I had to really, really learn
Uh,
to actually really do and really be on top of your administrative things and your the report writing skills. And I think again, our module structure, the delivery structure also helped massively because instead of doing exams, we were doing like portfolios, we were doing written essays, we were doing all of those things, and reports also really contributed. And I see that I'm transferring those skills within the UK healthcare system. So it's really, really exciting.
Thank you again. Thank you again for relating it back to our assessments. Uh, Again, I think these are the things we, as a student, like, might not realize it. We might think them just as assessments, but they are something we create so that you can translate those skills tomorrow into real jobs.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
uh, the fact that you very well highlighted it, I hope our students do relate to that and do take that in because
Yes,
presentation, be it your portfolio, report writing, everything is helping you develop a skill. And those skills will tomorrow be an asset when you go to start working in any jobs for that matter. Um,
exactly.
and also, I felt like when you talked about, how you had to learn something new in healthcare system, in the UK healthcare system, but at the same time, there were times where you had to dial down as well because back home you have so much experience of getting in with
Exactly.
everything. So
Exactly.
it's not just about learning new things, but it's also about de-learning at the same time, right?
Exactly, exactly. It really is. And also learning to know your limits as well. Because yeah,
Very.
sometimes you really want to impress so much, but then you have to understand that there's a line you cannot cross. And no matter your good intention might not go on, might not be needed at the time. So it's really important to just go by the book and what the policy recommends and all knowing all of these things and really the fine details in between those.
Exactly. And I think that also highlights the importance of reading culture,
Yes,
need
yes.
to read. When we ask students to read articles or policies, it's not just to like read it.
Oh,
They have some importance in the background because
exactly, exactly,
everything has to be policy bound, law bound. That's why the
exactly,
policies exist, right? But thank you
exactly.
again.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take a little bit around YSG journey. I know you have touched
Okay.
upon a little bit already. You mentioned about a friend recommending YSJ, right? And
Yes.
then through the 2-year experience route, right? So looking back now, uh, I mean, you have touched this, I think, in bits and pieces till now, honestly. But if you were to, like, if you were to take a second and look back at your journey, what do you think made YSA the right choice for you?
I'd say it's the reception.
Mm.
Like it was the I don't know, but I haven't been to a lot of universities now, but then I do have friends who have gone to other universities to do other programs. But it was just that first few weeks where there was a lot of uncertainty. You're in a different country, you've traveled miles away from home, there's no family. But then you come in and then it doesn't feel so different. Like it's like you're home. And I think the highlight of my first, it was a welcome week for me, honestly. And and then because I believe that if they were going to in my tribe, my language, we've got this adage that we say that if a dance is going to be fun, it starts from the beginning. So yeah, so for me, it was just the first impression, like actually how we were welcomed in, how everyone just made you feel like yes, you were at the right place, you made the right decision. And probably my highlight was the boat trip.
Mm.
The cruise. I love that because then it gave us all the opportunity to meet other students whom some of whom I never saw until I completely I never saw again. But it was really nice to have that rapport with people. Like, it was lovely. For me, I think it was a welcome with the first impression. And so once that was, you tick that box, I was like, this is it, I'm done. And then as I went along through the program, the lectures, the delivery, the tutors are amazing. The support you receive is just amazing. It's there all the time. And it's not just providing the support, but constantly reminding you that you have these available. And sometimes they come to you with the support that are you sure you don't need to talk to someone? It was really, really nice. And that made a huge change, difference for me. And it just really assured me, convinced me that I'd made the right decision. Because I did have I had been accepted in other universities across the UK, about three others, and I was just making a decision. And then I was happy I chose YSG, honestly. I haven't regretted it for a day.
Very much. I think we are extremely happy that you chose us as well. So the feeling is the same here, and I hope you
Yeah.
got to dance in the boat trip that you had
Oh
as well.
yeah, I know.
And but I'm really happy to hear that you had a good experience. I mean, like
I
that's the
did.
reward as an academic we would like to have, to be honest. So it's quite heartwarming for me to hear that you had this experience, and I'm really thankful that you're sharing this journey with us. Uh,
Yes.
now, I'm going to talk a little bit about your placement. You've already spoken in length about the value of placement. You explained that how your placement became a bridge into the UK healthcare system in a sense,
Yeah.
and eventually led to your Band 6 senior physiotherapist role. Uh,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to our current students who are thinking about placements on how to make the most of their placement opportunities?
Ah, the soft skills, I'd say, Manisha, I cannot emphasize that enough. That the soft skills that we learn during those employability sessions, the CV skills, your CV skills and everything, once you master all of those things, because you desperately need a job. So everyone really focuses on those ones. But then the ones they don't really pay enough attention to is the soft skills. You can get the placement, but you know that they can decide to let you go or keep you on during the job. You need to make a very good impression on the job. And where I come from, we are culturally brought up to be very modest about our achievements, but that is not the case here. You should know that there's a line between gloating or being prideful and then also sharing or highlighting all the amazing work you've done. So it's one of the things that you pick up from these employability sessions and these placement supports. You speak to the advisors. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention, but it also has been amazing, amazing support over my journey. And I have other colleagues who also share the same experience and thoughts about the check-ins, the support, the additional support. And it's really, really important that the placement opportunity will give you it's just like a gate, will open up bigger opportunities for you. and then it will determine what your next few years in the country is going to look like, or in your career journey is going to look like. So it's a very good opportunity. So, tardiness and all of those things, one thing they don't really like, being late to work, not doing your work. And one of the biggest thing I've really learned over this placement is that there's a fine line between being a hard worker and working well. You can work hard, they are not working well. And then in this UK, in this country, what they look for is working well. So you always ensure it's not looking busy and always walking around. You have to you show some productivity, you show results, and then they are convinced that you're actually doing a good job. And then they will invest in you. The employers are always interested in pushing and supporting their employees, and they will invest in you. So it's those soft skills, learning people skills, the time management, don't be late for meetings, courtesy, just come on, those little things make a huge impact. So absolutely take advantage of this placement. And once you get the offer, also remember that you are you are on this placement as a YSJ student, and so you owe it to YSJ to keep that reputation that they have, that reputation that has contributed to you being offered this role or this placement. Maybe they don't know, but it's not just your CV. Sometimes the university you come from, because now I find myself in a job where I also do interviews for students to do placements. And then I know that sometimes we consider which universities they're coming from because of the reputation the university has. So it's really, really important that once you have that opportunity, you always remember that you are representing YSJ. You're the face of YSJ at that workplace. And so you have to leave a very good mark. So always work well and not just hard.
Thank you very much for highlighting that so well, Yvonne.
Yeah,
It's very important to understand that even in any jobs, in anywhere in part of the world, efficiency matters, right? We
exactly.
to be very efficient. That's why they have outputs, goals everywhere, even in the smallest organization, and even your
Exactly.
own personal growth. We have some outputs in a sense, right? We would want to be somewhere in 6 months. We would want to
Exactly.
have accomplished some things, and the same thing is expected at workplace. And I really am, again, I'll have to thank you for highlighting the fact that when we are out in the placement, it's not just about us making an impression in
Yeah,
that workplace, but also understanding that we wear a badge, an invisible badge of the university. And
exactly.
how well we do is a reflection of the university itself as well. So, not to add any additional pressure on our students, but that weight comes
Yeah, and it's
with
true.
that.
And the how well you do on the placement will determine if it's going to open more opportunities for other people, other students that are going to come after you. So you always need to think that, think projectively, and for posterity's sake, you have to always leave a good mark for the next generation. So it doesn't become so, even if you had such a difficult time finding or gaining that employment or placement opportunity, the impact you leave there should be so big that it will open more opportunities for other YSJ students. They wouldn't have to suffer as much as you did. So it just, at the end of the day, it's for the good. You have to think about the common good.
Very good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so, no, again, I think you have already set that benchmark very well, Yvonne. Again, students like yourselves are someone like, are something that puts YSJ in that high standard. And I'm very sure you have created this space for our students.
Yes.
Uh, Come and speak to you, not just to you, and also have made an impression that YSC universities are, our students are rather good, rather efficient. So it's quite
Exactly.
an achievement in itself as well.
Thank
Uh,
you.
so, one of the things that I always tell my students, be it global healthcare management or public health, that especially when you work in health, it's very different to working in IT or any other sectors. In
Yeah.
IT, you can be beside the computer, do everything on your own, and be done with it, right?
Yeah.
But work in health, no matter how specialized field in health you might be, it's a teamwork at the end of the day, right?
It
And
is.
I feel like if you start working on those team activities when you are in the classroom, right? When you are in the
Exactly.
classroom, that teamwork starts. And I remember you mentioned something around how you're working within a multidisciplinary team at the moment, right? With
Yes.
children with complex needs. How important do you think this teamwork is? And how do you think our students can, because I feel like working in teams is also a skill, right? Because people have different natures, right? So what
Yes.
kind of suggestions do you think, or would you give to our students on how to build that teamwork or how to work on that skills, please?
Yes. I mean, no man is an island. There is no way you can do a good job, no matter how great you think you are, which you might be. However, in a workplace, it's a huge organization. There's no way you can do anything alone. And even if you do, you won't take credit. They won't give you the credit alone anyway. It will still be attached to a team. So you might as well just work. It's really important to work in a team. My current role as I work in a school. So in the academy, we've got about 9 special schools under the academy, and I work central, so I can go anywhere. So I currently work across 2 schools. And so I don't just have to work with my MDT, my fellow professionals. I work with teachers, I work with TAs, I work with the cleaner, the facility managers. You need those people, you need to have a very good relationship with those people because there are some difficult conversations and decisions that you cannot make in isolation. You for the
Mm.
ultimate good and the outcome of your job, and then the pupils as well, that we are all interested in helping to, develop and give them the support they need. It's really, really important. And so it starts, like I said earlier, that biology gives you that opportunity because you have, during the seminars, you do team group work, you do discussions, you brainstorm together, two different people coming in together. And that is exactly the same skill you translate into um the workforce. I remember very well that during one of our seminars, one of the lecturers would constantly remind us that no opinion is a stupid opinion, or so everyone's opinion was respected, everyone's opinion was regarded, and you look at it constructively and objectively instead of, even if you have personal feelings against the person or with the person. It's always important that when you're in a professional setting, you understand that it helps you build a professional relationship and take aside emotional, I think as part of the course to we learn emotional intelligence and all, and it goes such a long way to make a huge impact, and it makes you a team leader, a very good team builder, which will open better opportunities for you, honestly. Because then, if your job is looking for someone to lead a team, you'd probably be one of the first people they consider, or your name will come up in bigger meetings where you are considered. So it's really, really important to learn that. And YSG, like I said, gives you that opportunity. So I will encourage the students to always capitalize on being part of the group discussions. It's always easy to just stand behind the group and say nothing, but then it's really important that you learn to be part of a group and also be the gel that brings groups together, because you can never work and succeed on anything if you want to do anything in isolation. It won't work.
Yeah. Thank you very much again, Yvonne. You have actually set the ground quite well for me here because my next question was around leadership. So I feel like that's quite a nice transition now.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier your employer nominated you for a middle leaders development program, right?
Yes, yes.
Believe that's quite a fantastic achievement. What leadership qualities do you think uh, our students who are aspiring to become or get into healthcare professionals, do you think should start working on or developing early in their careers now? What kind of advices, qualities would you think they need to work on?
Yeah, I could give them a list, but I'm sure they'll cover it in one of the modules. But in any case, like I said, like everything we've covered I think we've got a module that is leadership and sustainability. Yeah, everything you cover in there, you would absolutely need every single one of them. But what stands out a lot is to be a very good listener, an effective communicator. It's really, really important to know how to articulate yourself. It was one of the things I used to struggle with, although I had done public speaking and everything. there were opportunities where I had to do it in my local language, so it was easier. And then now you come here and all you have to do is articulate yourself in English every day, 24 hours a day. It's it's different, and so actually building that skill of being a very good listener, being an effective communicator, not just saying things to carry out send information across, but also ensuring that you say it in a manner where the next person understands you clearly is really, really important. Also, being emotionally intelligent, because no one really cares about your emotions when you come to the job. It's really professional. It's very heightened, especially with the type of work I do. It's rehabilitation. There are better priorities. No one has the time. Not to say that your employers do not care about your emotions and everything, but you need to learn as a leader to take that as to put that away and be that person that everyone. So I will put my top two favorites will be the effective communication and then being a very, very good listener. And maybe I'll put in the emotional intelligence as a third quality. Absolutely. You don't take things, you only take things on face value. You do not take things. People will say mean things, people will say horrible things, but you still need to hold it together, hold your emotions together, and not lose your cool as a leader because it goes anyway. And maybe not maybe on the side, I don't know if it's a quality, but it's presentation, personal presentation, like how you dress, your grooming skills, um, be practicing to be eloquent, all those things, being tidy, being neat, just look the part. And then it goes along with, but then I will say again that that module was really, really helpful. Every tip you need in there is on there in that module, and do not take anything they teach you there lightly. It's really, really helpful to do it. It's really helping me a lot.
Thank you again, Yvonne. Again, I think the students should notice how modules do translate into real life
They
action as
do.
well.
They really
So,
do.
yeah, so this time, because my question was very much specific to leadership qualities, you're one of the modules actually do contribute to that, but not just that module. I remember, Yvonne, you mentioned about research skills that you did in your MSc Global Healthcare Care Management
Yes.
program is also playing quite an important role in your professional development, right?
It
Um,
is.
Again, research, leadership, everything do count
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it to developing your own skills and whatnot, right? Um,
exactly.
Hope students are taking notes of what you've been sharing so far.
Yes,
Uh,
I am.
and I have a few more questions, Zubon. So now a little bit more generic one, if I may.
Okay.
Um, so I guess work-life balance is also something many early career professionals struggle with, right?
Yes.
So how do you manage your work-life balance, and what advice would you give to our recent graduates?
I know. I think personally generally I'm a workaholic. I think it's because I'm overly passionate about what I do. But then, like you said, it was one of the things I had to really, really learn to do, like not checking my emails when I'm not at work. And it's hard because sometimes you can't help it and you're like, oh, and I'm those type of people that would, as soon as I see the message, I cannot ignore it. I have to act immediately because it's how I become very efficient and productive because I otherwise I'll put it away and then I have to do it again. But it's really important that you need to understand that you need a very good work-life balance. When you're away from work, you're away from work. When you're at work, you're at work. And
Mm,
so it goes in two ways. So when you're at work, you give all of those hours that they are being paid you are being paid for. Get everything done in those hours and make sure that when you leave home, that is it. I'm going to share a personal experience. So I've got other colleagues that I work with, and as part of my jobs, we've got like extra hours sheets where you log in extra hours. So my clinical lead came to me and realized that my extra hours sheet was empty, and she was wondering, I mean, am I not doing any extra hours? I'm like, I actually don't need the extra hours because I show like efficiency. I make sure everything I have to do within the hours I'm being paid, I get it done. And she was really impressed. She was like, that shows a lot of like it shows a very good efficiency. Not to say my colleagues are not being efficient. Some of them work part-time and have different hours, so it's hard for them to complete. But then that's so all I'm saying is that, oh, make very good use of the time that you have at work so that you don't have to worry, think about work when you leave work and you go home, and no one has to chase you for any outstanding thing. So always make time. And it's really important to take care of yourself as well as an individual, because if you're not in the right state of mind, being in this country can be a bit gloomy, can be a bit sad, if you, especially if you don't have family around. And I don't have family, it's just me. But then I find I have to build very good relationships. And every now and then I hang out with friends I met through the course on the program. And so we meet up and then we do fun things together and just to chill and relax and just have that, do things you enjoy, have a hobby, go for a walk, enjoy the parks. It's beautiful. The weather is getting better now. So always take care of yourself, because if you are not in the right frame of mind, it will translate into your work and then your employers will not think twice about letting you go.
Mhm. Again, well said. I think when it comes to work-life balance, I think you've indirectly talked about it. I think the most important thing is management.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, we see students like, putting down everything very close to the assessment date. That never helps, right? So we have seen this spillover effect, and we
Yeah.
do see that in everyday life as well. Like, be it cooking or shopping or anything, it's the
Shop
same
anything.
that's the same principle we need to apply at work as well. And I think you very rightly highlighted the management skills
Yes.
over there. Um,
Really
and also
important.
the other thing that I wanted to highlight from what you said earlier was I always mention to my students, when you come to the UK to do your undergrad, master's, or whatever degree you are in, you're not just here to get your degree. You are here to learn culture. You are
Yeah.
here to make friends, because these experiences, just getting grades in school is not enough. You need to
No.
as well, right? And YSA gives you such a profound opportunity, I think, because we come from such a cultural diversity. So learn, right? Shape yourself, eat each other's food, talk to each
Exactly.
other, ask each other's name. I
Names,
like
socialize, get to know
that.
each other. You in the long run, you would realize that you could build very healthy relationships from YSG. And I currently have very about three really close friends that I met on the course, and we still hang out, we still do things together. And it was always so lovely to have that, support system and that variety of friendship.
We need to go beyond just the curriculum at times. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I have two more questions, Yvonne, and I'm going to try to keep it very focused as well. So, okay, we have talked a lot about your experience, right, and what students can utilize, right? I feel like you were lucky because you had a clarity and experience of what you wanted to do, right? You knew your passion.
Yeah.
For students, let's say, who are still exploring a career direction, uh, what strategies would you recommend for identifying their passion, um, be it in like healthcare or anywhere? What are the suggestions you would give to them?
I would say so. I'll use one of my experiences today. So when I first completed my undergrad, I had an academic tutor back in the university who recommended. I got a scholarship to do rehabilitation medicine or something else, and then I spoke to that tutor, and the advice he gave me is what I'm going to share. So what he said was that freshly being out of school with no work experience is very risky to just jump into a specialty you think you want. So absolutely give yourself the opportunity to explore your range. So for instance, if you've got a healthcare profession like mine, for instance, physiotherapy is vast. There's so many areas of physiotherapy. On the training, you could say that, oh, I find pediatrics really interesting and I want to be a pediatric physio. However, when you actually start working, you realize no. And there were so many students, according to my professor, who were coming back with those regrets. They had invested so much in doing masters in certain areas that they started working and they realized, no, it wasn't for me. So if you have the opportunity, like again, it takes me back to the voluntary work. Some of these opportunities may not be paid. So give yourself the opportunity, put yourself into these places just to have a feel of these options that you've got. Create these options for yourself. Attend conferences. I mean, when I am, you can, some of these conferences are free for students. Some of them are discounted for students. Look for these conferences and attend. Speak to different people from the areas you think you might be interested in. But then it's always nice to have a plan. Sometimes your plan is not really straight. Like I said, your journey might not be linear. It's not straightforward. You do have an idea of what you want, where you want to be, what you want to do, but you just need someone to just give you the right direction to in order to know how to navigate that journey. Because otherwise you probably really, really make the you find a job that probably pays you well, but it wouldn't be bring you fulfilling. And then if you find a job you love or something that you really want to do, you wouldn't have to work a day in your life. Every day is going to be you're just doing something you love. So it's constantly something you don't have to moan in the morning where you wake up to do a job or anything. So it's really important to explore your range and put yourself out there. And as that is, I'll just share a little one of my favorite mythical creatures. He's called Kairos, and is the Greek god of opportunities. And he's depicted by one lock of hair in his head. The rest of the head is bald. And so the notion is that, or the idea is that you can only capture Kairos when he's standing in front of you because he's only got one lock of hair. Once he turns his back towards you, it's bold. There's nothing to hold on to. And that's how opportunity is like. It comes to you. If you don't grab it and he turns away, it's gone. You might not get that very same opportunity again. So put yourself out there, explore your range. Don't be afraid. Don't limit your thinking. Don't limit your thoughts. Open it wide, explore your range, get out of your comfort zone and try other things. And do it now when you're young, because when you get too old, you have too many responsibilities. You may not have the opportunity to do that. So it's really important to explore your range, to take every opportunity when it comes.
Thank you, Yvonne. I think you've put it very beautifully. Be
Thank
the
you.
kindest example,
I love
or
Kairos.
or mention uh, how the journey is not linear, right? I think one of the
Mm.
frustration that many students tend to feel is because in our head it's very linear, right?
Yes,
But
it is.
yeah, we forget that life exists, right?
Exactly. And
And
every other thing happens. I
exactly,
mean,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Want to open your
everything
door,
happens.
there's extreme wind blowing outside, it shuts you in your face, right? So
It's
there are things
true.
happening in life. So I think we need to we need to settle down the idea that okay, things might happen, like
Yeah.
you need to have a plan. We know where we eventually want to be. Some of our journey is going to be linear if we are
Yeah.
lucky,
Yeah.
right?
If you're
But
lucky.
yeah, many of us will have our curves, ups and downs, and that's
Mm,
completely because
yeah.
it's what's going to shape us as a human being, as a professional, right? So
Exactly.
as it comes, but I think you
Exactly.
very well put it there. And finally, would if you could go back and speak to yourself, right, at the start of your postgraduate degree here in YSC, what advice would you give yourself?
Maybe start earlier. Maybe I could have come earlier and done this. I feel, but then again, I also believe that it was a journey. Like I said, like we've just finished saying that it was a journey, and we had to go through so many. It was topsy-turvy, and like I said, it was a scholarship I was offered back home to do this program, and I had chased that scholarship for about 7 years, and it was on the seventh year when I had decided to just give up. I said, no, I'm not going to try this year. And then my dad said, I mean, what do you have to lose? You've lost 6 times already, so you might as well lose the seventh time. And then I put it in, and then I was successful, and then it happened. So although I believe every now and then when I look back, I wish I had come earlier. I feel if I had come earlier, I would have had better opportunities. But then I'm here now, and so I'm enjoying the now, and I'm still grateful that I have the opportunity. And maybe another thing I would have probably done is to convince more of my friends to come with me to YSJ. I'm still doing that and convincing them to choose YSJ. But yeah, it's been I don't think there's anything I would significantly want to change prior to my journey here because it's been worth it from day one. And I've never had a day where I had wished I had chosen the other options I had. And it's been great. And so it doesn't give me a lot to wish I had done differently, if it makes any sense. Yeah, but because the whole journey has been amazing, and YSG did not disappoint my standards or my expectations. It lived up to the expectations. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity and the whole journey. So I don't want to be very arrogant and say I don't have any regrets or things I wish I could do before, but I'm pretty sure there's one or two, but nothing grand. It's been great, and I believe that the timing was right, with all the experience and everything, and actually opting for the 2 year route, the placements offer, everything was just amazing, honestly. But yeah, if I had my way, I'll probably have come earlier, way ahead.
Well, we would have loved to have you earlier, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Vibhu, any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our students that we have not discussed about?
I mean, I think I've said everything, and I'm so grateful. I just wanted to say, like, how grateful I am to YSG for constantly giving these opportunities to us to share our stories. Because sometimes you've got a burning desire in you, and you wish people could you wish you could get the audience to share these things with, to encourage someone, because you do know how people are really struggling, and it's really hard. But then I just want to encourage people that things will get better. I mean, it's that's just life. This too shall pass, and it always gets better. And always, when people are trying to be there for you, absolutely allow them. So if YSJ is opening opportunities for you to come in and talk to them about things, even if I think there was a time they will offer opportunities for you to talk about personal things that affect you as an international student. It's hard because you really, really desperately need these. You don't have that sense of community. So it's really nice to have that. So if people offer that help, please take it, and always take it in stride, take it a step at a time. I mean, I'm surprised I'm saying this because a year ago, if someone had told me I'd be where I am, I'd probably not believe it, even though I had a whole dream and a journey. But it's unfolding, and it's unfolding beautifully. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And I know and believe that it's going to be the same for everyone. Our journey will unfold. You just have to keep the commitment, the passion, the drive, and it's not enough to just want something. You have to work for it. So everything you need to do, invest in yourself, attend conferences, get on courses, free. There are so many free courses, things that take everything that is being offered to you, honestly, and it'll be fine. You'll be grateful you did. And a year from now, you'll probably be the one sitting here, probably saying better things than I'm saying currently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and insights with us today. And it has been really inspiring to hear about your journey, your
Thank
dedication
you.
to pediatric physiotherapy, your persistence, your perseverance, be it chasing after the scholarship, right?
I
And
know.
you understanding the importance of volunteering and your desire to give it back to the society and
Yeah.
understanding how important it is. I think those all things has shaped you to become who you are, obviously, right?
Yes,
And
it has.
and it has made impact on as yourself you're making in your field, right? So that's really, really appreciated. And thank you again
Thank
for
you.
sharing all the beautiful pictures with us. And I really felt like I was in the community, when you
Oh,
share this beautiful picture. So really appreciate your journey and you sharing that with us. And thank you
thank you
to
so much.
and I'm very sure our students will find everything that you have talked very inspiring and very insightful as well. One thing that I would like to highlight, something that you have already mentioned, is about the importance of continuous professional development, be it by reading articles regularly, attending webinars, or going to conferences, or even by talking to people who work in similar field, right? Share where you want to be with your academic tutors, your employability leads. We all are there to help you, and I hope everyone who is going to watch this video will find the conversation insightful and motivating. And on behalf of York St. John University London campus and the alumni team, thank you again for being the part of today's session.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again, Viv. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.